Hi guys, welcome back to another iPhone tutorial. This is going to be using the XML Parser. And the reason why this isn't a web service tutorial is because my server is currently having a bit of a fight with me. It keeps deleting the stuff I put online. Stuff that's already there from my previous tutorials is still running fine. I checked them all, they're still running no problem. Just whenever I try to upload new things, it's deleting them on me. No idea why, so I'm just making this a local tutorial. But if you change the path you're going to see now in 2 minutes to your URL the same way it is my previous tutorial, it'll work perfectly. It's just it doesn't work for me for some reason. Okay, I started with a master detail project, so nothing's changed except I've already made the XML file. Okay, so you can see here every XML file starts off with the XML tag and the encoding has the size of the encoding, and then you have the hierarchy. Okay, it doesn't show very well in this because it doesn't highlight the hierarchy at all, but the parent is prices, okay, and it ends down here. Then in between that you got three objects inside, all called price. Okay, I know it's kind of bad calling them prices and price, but this kind of made more sense at the time. So each price object has 4 strings in it: a name. Okay, let's use the strings, not ints. It's just easier because we're going to put them into labels and stuff later on, which are all strings, so just leave them as that. 3 prices and 1 name, they're all strings. Same for ID 2 and 3. So the ID is the identifier. Okay, that'll allow us to identify between them later on. Okay, so you can copy that down, or I can just wait till I'm finished and get the source code. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to keep our code really tidy. Okay, so we're going to make the same way we did in all the tutorials, well, most of them, make the data objects separate. So let's call it list. Create, and in here, okay, we're going to make a few properties. Property, non-atomic, retain. I'm just going to copy and paste this a few times because I don't want to keep typing it out over and over again. Okay, now as you saw, we had a few things. So in a string, name. In a string, beer. In a string, cider. More. I forgot something there, didn't I? In a string, Guinness. Yes. Now, you may notice there's actually one more thing we didn't have there, which is the ID, but NS integers you don't want to retain. You want to be read write. Also, NS integer you don't use the asterisks. No, leave that out and just call it drink ID. Perfect. Okie doke, and synthesize, cider, beer, Guinness, name, and drink ID. Of course, we're sticking with the whole Irish drinking thing, you know, might as well keep it close to my heart and liver. Okay, that's done. We're going to make probably no more alterations to this file. This is just our data model. We'll add them all to our this later on in our parser file. We want to keep the parser separate because the parser has 3 big methods in it. We want to keep out of the delegate or any class we're going to use. So we're going to make a file called the parser, or just parser. Okay, so this is going to be our workhorse. We're going to use this, initialize this in our delegate later on, and use this to do all the work for us, and then simply use results in class we want later on. So this is where all the work's going to be done. So we have to have a few things here. First of all, to import the app delegate, because we're going to be initializing this in the delegate, but we want to have access to the delegate's methods. Also, import list, because obviously we're working with list objects, and because we're going to be using we're going to delegate the XML parser to our class, we have to make this an XML parse delegate. And then we want to make a few little header files: app delegate, app for a singleton access, you've probably seen before in my tutorials, list, the list, and ns mutable string, current element value. Don't worry to understand what this is going to be used for just yet. It's XML is a bit tricky, but you'll understand by the end. And because we want to use this in our class, we want to initialize this in our class, init parser. Okay, so we're going to be calling this in another class to do all our work for the delegate. Okay, so I keep talking about delegates. Let's go to delegate now and let's set it up for what we're going to use it for. Okay, because the parser is going to be used here, import the parser. Perfect. Now, give yourself a lot of room here just so you can see what's going on. Nothing's going to be changed here. Our implementations can be same as always. It's going to be load using the default setup, but we need to actually specify where we want the file to be read from. So ns string called path equals ns bundle main bundle resource path okay, string by appending path component, perfect, and it's called prices.xml. Perfect. Okay, so we're telling it that we're going to read a file from this path. So, but for the parser to work, parser doesn't work with just the path. It has to be a data object. So ns data called data equals ns data. Oops, nope. Ns data a lock in it with data. Nope. In it with contents of file. In it with contents of file. I'm actually going to bed myself there. Path. And now ns XML Parser. Let's call it XML Parser equals ns XML Parser a lock in it with data. There we go. There's data object. I was too far ahead of myself. Okay. Now because we're going to be using the parser in this class, we're going to initialize it here. So parser, the parser equals parser a lock init in a parser. So we're initializing that init parser to start off all our implementation later on. So we're just setting it up now. Now we have to set the delegate here because we're going to be delegating this to another class. So XML Parser, which is the XML Parser object, set delegate the parser. Now if you hadn't set this here in the parser.h file, you'd be getting a warning. If you have set it, it'd be no problem whatsoever. Okay. What we can do here is we can run an error checker. Okay, we probably should because this is quite a lot of code to go through, and it's probably best we have it here. So, yes, make a boolean worked. If worked, nslog ea. Else, probably best to do an alert view here. It's easier rather than nslog and everything, but nslog boo. An alert view would be a lot easier. Well, it'll tell you straight away if it works or not, but we want to find out if this works, but we're not going to do just yet because we actually haven't done our parser object yet properly. We haven't set up all the work. Now, this is going to be a long tutorial because there's a lot in this, and I'm going to be changing things as we go through to handle other bits and bobs. So I'm just kind of deciding now what can we get done. Okay, first I'm going to show you what the main method we're going to be using in the parser. And I'm going to stop here and start fresh next. Okay, ID. You probably wondering why I get a warning because we haven't initialized the parser. Init parser, and you'll be getting a warning because incomplete. Okay, set it up. If self equals super init. Now we're going to. This the only thing we're going to do here is set up our singleton access. Our singleton access is going to allow us to access the delegate class by one simple accessor type. So app equals app delegate. So we're casting it. UI application. Oh no. UI application. Shared application delegate. Done. So if I even made an array of two objects in the delegate and I typed app.array count, it'll give me the count of the array in the delegate. Very handy, but you don't want to do it too often. Your best keeping single access to a minimum because you don't want to give too many classes access to classes they shouldn't be talking to. That's why we always set up these data models and have the class talk to them rather than the view controller passing directions to each class. Okay, so now for the big monster methods. Okay, so parser. Here we go. Parser did start element. Where are you? Did start element. Qualified name. That is the one. Okay. As you can see, this is quite a big method. It's not the only one we need. We need two more. Void parser found characters. This is quite a small one. And then parser. Oops, sorry, not void. Parser did end elements. Do parser qualified name. Q name. Perfect. Okay, so what this essentially means is that it's going to start off. On an element, okay, and we're going to check what element it's going to read, and then we're going to append. If the element isn't there yet, we'll create it or append stuff to it, and then once we've found what we want, we'll add it to our data object. If you've did some of my first JSON tutorial, it's similar. So the connection did receive data, append it, and then you do your workings once it ends on the element. So that's why we're going to be doing these. I don't want to start these now because they're quite long, and it might take 2 or 3 more tutorials to get through, another 2 probably to get through this all. So I'm going to leave it here. We just created set up everything. Then we're going to go through all these. I'm going to go through what I'm going to be trying to get at, and then we'll actually make this application work. Okay folks, join me soon for the next tutorial. Bye now.